You see, Nigerians have been fooling since 1970. The foolishness didn't start today. They have long been defrauded before this time. In the 1970s, when Nigeria just came out of the Civil War and people were struggling to bounce back from the financial disaster, there were Ponzi-like schemes that operated on people's desperation for money during that period. Though they were not always called Ponzi scheme at the time, they were called money doublers or money magicians. Give me 50 naira, in few days time you will get 100 naira. That was how they operated under the pretense of fake cooperatives or investment club at the time. And due to limited financial regulations or less public awareness, a lot of people fell for it. One popular case was the rise of money doubling scheme in Lagos and Ibadan in the 1970s. They were the earliest form of Ponzi scheme in the country at the time. They used to rent kiosks or just a small table at the roadside or in a crowded area like Dugbe in Ibadan or Idumota in Lagos. And the whole idea was built on bring money and it will double up in few days time. You don't need to sign anything, no receipts, it was just pure cash in hand, which made it very hard to trace them whenever it fails. And you see, this process made a lot of families to lose their savings while trying to double the little that they had saved. Some even sold their valuables to invest. Well, the money doublers crashed in the end, and that was how a lot of people lost their money. But it didn't stop there. By the 1990s also, the Wonder Banks came out. You see, Wonder Banks were a notorious fraudulent financial scheme that swept across Nigeria in the 1990s and the early 2000s. They were called Wonder Banks because of the unbelievable wonderful interest rates that they promise anybody who invests in their stocks. A profit of 50 to 200% return in just weeks for a few months. Who does that? Meanwhile, they had no license, no regulations, and they operated without a license from the Central Bank of Nigeria. You see, by this time, they had upgraded to setting up flashy offices and hired staffs to look legit. But few months after they collected people's money, it collapsed. Well, in the 1990s also, the Plan Well scheme also came out. They operated in Lagos and Ibadan in the 1990s. They promised people 100% return, but shortly after collecting millions from the public, it also collapsed. Nigerians wailed and swore never to invest again. Then, Nospecto Oil and Gas came in the early 2000s. This one claimed to offer investments in oil return. It shares the same traits with Wonder Banks. Well, it was later crashed out by the Security and Exchange Commission in the country at the time. A lot of people still lost money. By the mid-2000s, the CBN and EFCC started actively shutting down these companies, warning the public and freezing their accounts. And for the longest of time, the Ponzi scheme were chased out of Nigeria. It seems as if the country was at rest. Until in 2016, when MMM returned to Nigeria, the Mavrodi Mondial movement. It was the beginning of another disastrous downfall to some greedy Nigerians in the 21st century. MMM entered Nigeria in the late 2015, branding itself as Mutual Financial Aid Community. And they promised 30% monthly return on any investment with no real business model. You see, MMM did more harm to Nigerians because it operated at the digital age. The system looked like a social network or online club with fake testimonies, dashboard, and countdown timers. By 2016, millions of Nigerians had joined again without thinking twice. It became so popular that banks started warning customers against it. Well, finally, in December 2016, right before Christmas, MMM froze accounts and shut down the platform, blaming system overload. Billions of naira were lost and many people never recovered their money. Some people even committed suicide at the time. It was a national shock. But guess what? Nigerians moved on without learning their lessons, because after MMM crashed, a lot of new Ponzi schemes quickly came out and continued to defraud Nigerians. Between 2016 and 2024, more than 40 other Ponzi schemes have successfully defrauded Nigerians. With few to mention: Ultimate Cycler, Givers Forum, Twinkers, Loom, Lion Shares, Pennywise, Rackstelly. The list is long, but don't worry, Nigerians' greediness is longer. And the latest of them all is CBEX. But guess what? CBEX is currently the last on the list, but definitely not the end of the list, because many more are still coming and people would still invest. You see, it's crazy how people continue to fall for these things. Since 1970, the days of money doubling, to Wonder Banks, to Pennywise, and to MMM, it is crazy. The list is long, but Nigerians' love for money is longer.